It's a question I get a lot when I have consultation with my clients, especially the first consultation, is whether it is too late to set up radio silence. Sometimes people will tell me, I said the wrong things, I did the wrong thing, I said things I regret. My ex is really upset with me. Is it the right time to start a radio silence? This is what we're going to cover today in this video. Bear with me till the end, because obviously all these points are really important for you if you want to get back with your ex and if you want to do the radio silence properly. If you don't know what is a radio silence, have a look. I'll put a link, but if you follow my channel, you are familiar with the concept. Before I move on, as you know, you can subscribe and comment. It helps me grow the community and also help you out by sharing my content on a daily basis and answering your questions in the comment section. You can call me, it's new. I have about 10 calls of this per week, so have a look. If there's a slot for you this week, you can call me, it's totally free. 15 minutes, sometimes just one sentence can make the whole difference. And last but not least, there's a quiz for you to know if you have any chance to get back with your ex. The link is in the first comment of the video. So let's start with the bad news. I'm gonna be very honest with you. Having insisted for months, years, doesn't work. It doesn't mean that there's no chance, but it's not how you get your ex back. So by pushing, and I'm gonna use that image, that pushing and pushing and pushing, it's not gonna push them back to you, it's gonna push them away from you. They were cold, they start to be unkind, you didn't understand the need. It's exactly why they decided to break up, because you didn't understand their need during that relationship. It's not that they're not in love with you anymore, it's just that you weren't able to match and meet their needs. Now, at this breakup, their need was to have some space. You didn't respect that by texting them, by begging them, by crying. You didn't allow that space. So we're gonna look what you should do and why it is so important and crucial to have this radio silence. As I said, they asked you for space, you have to accept it. And I know it is the hardest thing to do when it's the love of your life and you have the feeling that it's over, that you will never get back together, to let go. But actually, and this is very counterintuitive, what works is to let go. You have to let go if you want them back. I'll explain you why. Stop being in denial. They need to experience the breakup. They took the decision to break up. You have to let them have that experience. And again, we're going to look why it's so important. So therefore, the sooner you start, the better it is. Because if you keep on being this, not really together, but still in contact, you're not going to allow them to really experience that breakup. And you're not going to have all those emotions. We're going to look at that in a minute, to reduce all that anger, all that, they were upset, all the things that you said. By being there, by being in their surroundings, you're not allowing them to experience that breakup. If they wanted to come back, they would have been easy for them, okay? So it's not by just being around that you're gonna basically fix that relationship. They must feel that, that lack. They must feel that they miss you, right? Because otherwise, being around, how could they miss someone? How could you miss someone if he's always around? And it is really crucial here. They need to miss you. And you have time. I know you hate that, but you have time. Time doesn't separate you. It's not because you're not in touch with your ex for months that they forget you. They'll still think about you. If you think about them, of course it's going to be the same. You were in love. How come they forget you from one day to another? Of course they will forget. They will remember you, not forget you. And the psychological process is slow, and it's sometimes slower than, it's always slower than what people think it should be. Remember, when people decide to break up, there's a long process before they say and have the talk with you and say, I want to break up. Sometimes it's up to 30% of the relationship. So it's not just by waiting a week or 4 weeks that you can just reappear and say, okay, now you had that real silence and can we get back together? It doesn't work like that. You need some time for your ex to reflect and to have that emotional attraction to build up. Because I always say at the start of, just right after the breakup, a lot of anger, a lot of bad feelings, a lot of bad emotions. With the radio silence, this would reduce, while at the same time, that emotional connection, that the fact that those feelings will kick in and they will cross at some point. And this is when you have to contact your ex. When they gave the reasons for the breakup. So the classic, sometimes it was because, you did something they can't really forgive, like cheating on them or being telling things that you regret. Sometimes it's just vague, like it's not you, it's me. All these kind of things that we hear, it's not really clear what exactly they meant to say. Or sometimes it's because they told you so many times, please, I want you to do this, I want you to behave like this, I want you to stop doing this. But we sort of neglected, we sort of didn't take into account what they said. And therefore, as a result, it builds up and they had no choice but to break up with you. But the loss of attraction is not logical. This is what you have to remember. It's not because they broke up with you that you are not meant to be together. It's just that at some point, something didn't work. And the reasons could be multiples, but the reason you have to really understand that what you have to do right now, after the breakup, is not to use your logic and try to fix things right now. That's not the problem. The priority right now is to build up that attraction to your ex. You were in love together, you were happy together, you can use that as a leverage for them to get back with you and use those emotions, those feelings, that love to bring them back to you. And this is what radio silence is all about. Of course, when I have clients and I help them with getting back with them, when they start to communicate with them and have that conversation, I always help them fixing that relationship. But right now, if you're just suffering a breakup, once you get back with the next, with radio silence really works because you are building up that attraction from scratch. So the fifth one is really the reflex is to destroy the seduction. Instead of walking away and create mystery, always say that, if you want to create attraction, create mystery. They are the two faces of the same coin. If you're always around, if you're always there, how can you create mystery? The idea of radio silence is for them to make the move. The more you're going to push, the more they're going to push back. The more you're going to spam them, the more cold and distant they'll become. Your job right now is to use that distance, create that distance, so they have to make the first move. They have to make that move towards you. They decided to break up. They have to suffer that breakup, and they have to suffer that void, basically, that would create that desire to see you. You are close to them, they'll come defensive. You're away from them, they'll have to be offensive, right? The surprise of radio silence, and this is the aha moment, and I hope you'll get that aha moment and really, and I know it's hard. I know sometimes people think they need to be brave and they need to be courageous to do that, but it is the right thing to let go and really set this radio silence. The surprise is when you do it, at some point you're actually like, wow, I didn't expect that. You're a new person. He or she was constantly calling me, begging me, having this sort of really needy personality. But now I have no news from them. And they would basically be shifted to the right direction. They'll be basically seeing you as a better person, someone who understands, someone who's mature, someone who's actually not dependable on them. Because at the end of the day, and this is really weird, the more you come across dependable, the less attractive you are. The more independent you come across, the more attractive you become. And so this is what radio silence would create, that image of someone who's accept their decision, but also he's very balanced, who can live his or her life without someone to be happy, who doesn't need actually their ex to be happy, who's not living their life through the eyes of the ex. This is what would create attraction. They would see you as a person who's actually a good catch. They loved you, something didn't work, decided to break up, but now they see you and they say, oh shit, I might have made a mistake. This is a great person. He's so interesting. He's so exciting. I want to be around that person. I want to make those efforts to make it work. And of course, you'll have to make those efforts to make it work. But the idea here is to build attraction. Build up attraction. That is key. And last, and I think there's a number 8 afterwards, your ex introspection starts at radio silence. This is the whole thing. You let them experience radio silence, and during that radio silence, I'm saying radio silence a lot anyway. They will reflect on the breakup. They will reflect on your relationship. And what's going to happen is that with time, with that being at peace, no pressure, no tension from having you around, what they will recollect in terms of memories are the good and strong memories. All these nasty arguments, all the bad words, all the things that you said and you regret, all the fights, with time will get milder in terms of intensity. And they will start to remember the good memories. So the bad image turns into good image, and the good image will be vivid in their memory. As long as you're present, they don't use their memories. That's the whole point. If I want the counter argument of radio silence, the only way for them to have and remember those good memories is if you're not around. Okay, so if you don't know whether you should start radio silence or not, remember this. The only way you can get your ex to remember the good old times with you is if you're not around. And radio silence, I'm going to finish on that. Radio silence is a way to leave them. My job is to help you get your ex back, but actually making sure, showing them that what it is, the experience of being dumped, is so powerful that actually it will drive them back. Like you did, you have that experience, you suffered that experience, you want to have, it's not a revenge, but you want them to experience the same, experience the breakup. And what it will create, you will create, of course, those same emotions that you had. Those emotions that will drive energy, that will drive them to actually act and make that tiny little first move towards you and start triggering a sort of a resolution, because there was something that was not working. Now their ego, maybe they don't want to lose face, but their ego or anything that would prevent them from making that first move with that pain of actually suffering that breakup will make them make that first move towards you. If you have any other questions, if you're not sure whether it's the right thing, whether how long should be the radio silence, feel free to get in touch. I'll be more than happy to help. Take care.